Hello there and welcome
to the new channel.
Here to help you see
the new you.
My name is Carmine Ortega.
Dennis Calamba.
This is Nato Agbayani.
My name is Juan Lu.
I'm Chino.
I'm Trisha.
This is Apple Manansala.
This is Attorney Carlo Ibanez.
This is Attorney Sheila Santiago.
This is Angie.
This is Argamid.
My name is Dante Salama.
This is Jesse Francis Rebostillo.
I'm Dani Acuña.
Mon Mendoza.
I am Mapet Erhino.
I'm Leo Bryan.
Mike.
Nice one, dear.
Sir Al Ian Barcelona.
Marvin Salazar. This is Sunny Haldons.
Heidi Lumainos.
This is Ivan Jude.
Patrick Geronimo.
Alan Perez.
My name is Erwin Ursua.
My name is Bob.
My name is Lloyd Luna and this is
Future.
The Talk.
Family Business.
The Puppet Stories.
After Shift.
PNC Town Hall.
YOLO.
Marketplace.
The Home Buyer.
HR Hotline.
Dani Art Show.
Healthline.
Foreign Affairs.
COVID Stories.
Awesome Day Show.
Thank you.
Money and more.
Cybernext.
Women at Work.
Win Within.
Port Project.
The Big Picture.
Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. Sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you. Sometimes life makes you blind and you choose something bad. You just wanna cry and hide and save your face from the crowd. But sometimes life makes you see the beauty in you and me. When you look up above, there is God and there is love. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new. We're here to help you see the newness of life. We're here to help you feel your hope is so real. You got the power to see. We'll help you see the new you. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the new channel, and we're here to help you see the new you. My name is Michelle Mras, and welcome to episode 10 of Mental Shift. Good evening to the US and to the Philippines. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Tonight, before I introduce my friend, I want to introduce you to a little bit of a video from him.
That battle you're fighting, that conflict inside, those too shall pass.
My name is Michael Fabber. I'm the founder of UnleashU Now.
You can make the impact you want to make right where you are.
Focus on the things that make you better. Focus on the things that will give you growth. Focus on those things that will give you opportunities. And what are you doing now to make it even better? Say yes. Life hit me with some of the hardest shots it could hit me, but I hit back with harder. There's no way we can ignore the hardships of life. They will come. They are life. That's part of it. Focus on what you control. It starts by believing in you.
I cannot wait for you to meet this man. My guest tonight is Michael Fabber. He is the founder and CEO of UnleashU Now. He's created a 6+ figure business in 4 months with his completely organic system. In addition to courses and programs, Michael and his fearless team have, they host conferences and retreats and summits and masterminds all around the world. And I want you to meet the most hip man I know. He's also known as Coach Fabber and our friend, my friend. Are you ready for this? Please welcome Michael Fabber.
What's up, fam?
Woo woo!
I made it. Finally.
Made it. Michael, I am so glad you're here because you were my lifesaver when COVID hit. And so for those of you who are tuning in right now, Michael has a group called UnleashU Now. And right when COVID hit, they started having, let's just get together. We'll meet on Wednesday afternoons and we'll just sit around and just talk. I don't know how we got connected. I have no idea, but whoever in the world, universe, whatever it is, I thank them greatly for connecting me to you because I met you and that your team and just that family that you have. And I fell in love with them, all of them, instantaneously. And then I learned more about Michael and found out that he and I have far more in common than not. We like the same food, the same drinks, we have same water. I mean, everything we do we're very parallel and our mindset is so close together. And I want to go into that because it's all about the mental shift. That's what the show is called, that something happened. You were in your world, in your little bubble, whatever you were doing, something happened that woke you up. You had a mental shift and you shifted your life to something else. It may have been slow. It could have been, fast, whatever it is. But we want to talk about the mental shift that you had to bring you to the man you are today. Hello, David Russell. Thank you for the fire. Wow, you're going to have all sorts of people popping up here. Okay, I can't read them all. He is the man. I was so well, I was so excited to have Michael on because he's one of the most real humans I have ever met. And so my thought process is I needed to get him on my show so that more people would be able to meet him. Bill, karaoke? Yes. I bet you he'd do karaoke with me because that's the kind of guy Michael is. You do karaoke with me?
Sure. Won't hurt my ears. I heard everything else.
I'm a karaoke fiend is what the joke is. But
I have no doubt.
Michael, you're the most real person I know. And so I wanted you on Mental Shift because I wanted to talk to you about your past because you were not such a nice guy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I want you to go there. And then I want you to explain what happened that woke you up to realize that you needed a shift and why you give back so much because you give full-heartedly. I mean, there is no mistake when you're talking how much passion, love, and care you have for the community and the people that you reach. And I wanted to go there. So, Mr. Coach Fabber, how'd this all start?
True. When you said, everybody has that mental shift, I was like, I had like a million mental shifts, I feel like. Now, right? And some of the mental shifts, they didn't necessarily work for me, but it was what I thought I needed, right? To survive, to make it, to thrive. Even though sometimes, I think when we talk about mental shifts, we always look at the positive side of a mental shift, like when it goes the way we want it to go or in a way that's direction positive for one another. But I also had mental shifts that were destroying me, right? In the life or the person I wanted, right? Went completely the other way and went the other way fast. So where this started was a lifetime of mistakes really fast. I was really good at making mistakes quick, and I had to make a lot of them to learn from them, unfortunately, because I'm not the smartest one in the room and I don't learn quickly, right? So you really got to lay it on me for me to be like, you know what? Maybe it is me. Maybe I should do something. All right. And I love the name of your show because I don't know if it's the engine or not, but it's definitely the ignition, your mindset, and how when you can control that and then focus it and align it to where you really want to go in life, what it can do to springboard you in the direction you want to go, living a life that you feel fulfillment in, right? Enjoyment in. So those are the things that I love to focus on and bring to attention, because wherever you are in your journey, if you're all the way in the basement or if you feel like you're near the top, if you just get this right, then everything can change and go in the direction you want to go. You can level up, you can get where you want to get to, all your wildest dreams can come true, and everything's in front of you as long as this shifts right. But where it started for me was a hustler from New York City that lived everywhere, right? I was just like, I don't know how bad I want to go on the show. I spent a year trying to get on it. Now it's like, say everything bad about yourself. I'm like, Jesus, why'd I do this? No, but I started with a hustler mindset from New York City, but I moved all over. I used to walk up and down the streets looking for change, and I would take that change and walk down to the store and buy penny candy. Then I would walk back and sell it to all the lazy kids that wouldn't walk down for the penny candy, but I would sell it for 5 cents a piece. I made like 400% profit on each piece of candy I sold, which I don't make that kind of profit now. So I was actually better in business then than I am now, I guess. I don't know. But really, like, life was good. Everything was cool. It's like I didn't have to have it rough, right? Like I always say, like, I was one of the weird ones that I didn't have to have it rough, and I chose to have it rough. Right? Like when I say I'm not the smartest one in the room, I truly mean it. Right? Because my parents were great, amazing people. But around 10 years old, one of my brothers passed away. And in our family, you weren't hurt, right? Like men, we weren't hurt, right? As men, we're mad, right? It's that the secondary emotion, anger, all right? We feel that because that makes us feel more in control. And men,
that way you're not weak, you're angry.
Right. Yeah, I'm strong. Look at me. I'm mad, right? Spitting when I talk. Do that regularly, but I do that when I'm mad too. But so for years I would push down the hurt and I would show anger, and I couldn't express myself. So I wanted people to feel my pain, because then I felt heard and seen, right? And I wanted to be seen, but I just didn't want to have to say what was up. So I followed that suit, and just one thing happened after another where it was just like, wow, like hurt, put it down, anger on top, hurt, put it down, show anger, right? Be angry. And literally until I was 20 years old, that was my life. It was just being angry, causing pain, hurting people, hurting myself, hurting the ones that love me the most. And it was my father died when I was a teenager. One of my buddies in high school passed away. So it was just, thing after thing after thing. And it was just be tough. And then you get that label, right? We get those labels that we accept. I was a bad guy. And I always say, as my story goes on, it's like a movie, right? You know all about movies. I was the villain in my story for the first 20 years of my life.
You chose to be the villain of your story.
100%. Yes, it was my control. I didn't know that at the time. I thought it was me against the world mentality. But when I got older and learned a little bit and became less dumb, I realized that it was my choice, that I was the guy that signed up to be that guy because I picked to be that guy because I thought that's what was protecting me and serving me. And I didn't realize it wasn't. And at 20 years old, I found out I was having a daughter. I beat my last court case. God willing, my last one I ever faced. And and I got shot at. So I didn't want my daughter to see me dead or in jail. So I said I have to change my life. And I was going down to Ocean City to meet my brother and got stuck in a snowstorm in Delaware. And I never left because I don't know how much you know about Delaware, but it's hard to get in trouble here. Right? There's not out there. most people don't know where it is. That's why it ends in where. But so I got stuck in Delaware, and I wish that was when that mental shift happened. But I did have a mental shift, but it wasn't the one we needed. It was just one step further, right? It was one step closer.
Baby steps.
Right? And then I became like the fakest person on earth. And I chose to be that person, right? It was all about the material. A nice car, a nice house. I have fancy.
The suits.
Oh, yeah, they had the
jewelry.
Floor suits. I was never a big jewelry guy.
Oh, good. That's because you probably were hiding it with the beard.
Right. I still got my chains on. No one ever takes them from me, but I wasn't like a big jewelry guy. Like I didn't wear them outside much. I just always have my constant chains on, but, and they do get covered by the beard if I did have them outside. So you wouldn't tell either way, but beard wasn't as big then, but you want to make fun of me. I wore like matching Converse suits, like that were like velour. And they were like really bright different colors and with matching Timberlands and matching Kango hats.
You're so cool.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. And I didn't have a good enough friend to tell me I wasn't cool, which was hurtful and sad at the same time.
You've created a network of friends who would immediately call you out now.
Listen, I'm lucky. Most of you guys didn't know me then.
Heck yeah, about to say, but now you've got you, and that's why I wanted you to share that story. Yes, it's the stuff you don't want to look at, but I have a lot of students who watch Mental Shift, and I want them to see that it doesn't matter what you did as long as you choose to make a change. Michael chose. He went, okay, I'm going to hide in anger. Okay, now I've got a daughter I need to take care of. I need to be an example. I'm going to force myself to be a better human. Yes, the first one, he was in bad suits and looking for attention for the wrong reasons. But what he did is he grew to another person. He evolved. It doesn't have to be a light switch. So don't beat yourself up when it's not a light switch of change. Change can be gradual. Sometimes it's like a Band-Aid being ripped off, but most of the times it's a learn, fall, learn, fall, learn, fall. It's what we do as humans. Michael is the perfect example of someone who fell hard onto his face. I mean, really, he hit hard. He got up and hit hard again. And so he kept climbing. And that's the magic of having a mental shift. Like Michael said, there can be bad mental shifts. They can be good mental shifts. But you keep growing. And that's why I wanted to share more about Michael, because he also has a book out that I want to get into. I want to peek at it. So producer, can we show his book before we go into commercial? I want to show his book, talk a little bit, and then we'll go to commercial. It's called F the Norm. You are meant to be great, but you got to be you. I say it all the time. You're not your friends. You're not your family. You're not the other people. You have to be you. No one else is like you. And that's why I love Michael. I love Michael because he feels that, he sees it. He's lived that fake life. He's lived that mask that he thought everyone thought he wanted to be, or he was supposed to be. How many of you out there are living a life that isn't yours? Are you happy? Right, Michael? Are you happy? His book, F the Norm, you are meant to be great, but you got to be you. It's a powerful book, and we'll go into it after the commercial, but I wanted you to see the book, look it up, go find him. Because if you want to say, I've had a really rough life, no one understands me, and I can't get up from where I am, read the book. And you'll realize you can get up from anywhere if you choose to. So we'll go to our commercial. We'll be right back with Michael Fabber. Please do not leave, and we'll see you in a minute. welcome back. My name is Michelle Mras. You are watching Mental Shift. And today I have with me Michael Fabber from UnleashU Now. He's the CEO and founder. We're talking about his book and, F the Norm. And where's Michael? Let's bring Michael back real quick. There you are. You didn't run away.
Nope. What's up?
Well, what brought you to write the book, F the Norm? And then the next thing I want to ask you was, why that title?
What brought me to write it was because I think we believe there's a certain way we're supposed to go about things, right? Like there's a certain path to success. There's a certain way we're supposed to do what we do to get where we want to get to. But what we think that's what everybody else has done or what has been done before us, and we need to follow that suit rather than see who we want to be, learn our way and go our way. And that, like the norm, there isn't just one way and that's how it works. And I think all too often we see that this is the way someone did it and we're like, we're not like that. So then we can't do that. And it's like, listen, whatever you've been through, whatever you're going through, right? And wherever you want to get to are all attainable. If one did it, anyone can do it. Right? So you don't have to look for the way that's already been done. You can figure out your way of doing it and do it that way and go about that and go your way to find your greatness and your masterpiece. Like if I can write a book, anyone can write a book, right? I screwed up. What we already heard of is not even a 10% of what I've screwed up in my life, right? So I screwed up massively and can still be here, right? We can still be talking about UnleashU Now in this amazing community that's killing it in the chat. Right? We could talk about the different businesses that the community and the business, like everything I've done is bigger and better than me. Right? Like the community is bigger than me, right? And they're better than me.
Yeah.
And so it's amazing just to think of it. And for them to say like, he's awesome, or to take the time out of their life to be here, to watch this, to partake in it, just because, it was up there and they could take their time out of their life to do this. Like that still makes my heart leap and makes me go, I don't understand how it happened. Like I don't understand why we're here, but embrace that we are here. You talked about being happy. I would say, let's get deeper, right? Let's find fulfillment. Let's find lasting joy.
And purpose.
Right. Like let's find those things that can't go away because the weather changed, or because you didn't get the sandwich you wanted, or they were out of rye bread. Right. And then all of a sudden the day goes to trash because they were out of rye bread. I don't even eat rye bread. Right.
Yeah, and that's my whole thing about people. It's like you need to be so at peace with who you are, what you stand for, that nothing else rocks your boat. It doesn't matter what the storms are doing on the outside. If you've got you and you've got the people that you surround you with that fulfill you too, and you give back to them, you are a steady boat. Now, someone asked, where can they find your book, Michael? Where can they find your book?
Oh, I mean, you can find it anywhere. Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, anywhere. I think I think right now we're doing like some promo too. You know how well I know what we do. I don't know anything we do.
I know. Margaret has everything. So go to the Facebook page.
Yeah, I think there's a free offer right now. Get the book.
Here it is.
Shipping or something.
Yep. Go to the UnleashU Now. That's the UnleashU Now retreat.com. But if you go to UnleashU Now, you'll see everything else.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's try that. If it works, awesome.
It's good there. And then just go to Facebook and look up UnleashU Now. It's got that really cool emblem that he has on his chest. I mean, you will find that so fast, and you can get into that group and meet the most amazing humans. Find the book, say, hey, Michael, where in the heck is your book? I can't find it. He'll talk to you. He answers. That's how I met you. Hey, where's this thing that you guys are going to do about, meeting on a Zoom call just to talk?
Right.
Look, like, okay, I'm in. But see, that's the other thing, Michael, is I love to talk about when people say, well, he did it, but that's him. I can't do that. And I do, no, you can't. You know why you can't? Because you're not him. You must do your path. You must make your way. That's why it's called your life. It's not called everyone's life. It's not called, ABC life. It is your life. And you do the choices. So when you want something, you can start a path that someone else has done, but that soon it's not going to work for you anymore. And you're going to have to find your own way. There are things that both Michael and I have experienced in our lifetime that there was no one we could have watched to get out of it. You had to find your own way, because how many people do you say, okay, we're in this thing and, I'm in this really bad situation. How many people have lived to get out of it? You had no one. You had to find your own way. And here is this man who has started, I call it a nation of family that is around the world from all walks of life, every age group, every nationality, you name it, it is in Unleash You Now. They have a retreat coming up very soon that I really, really, really want to go to. And where is that retreat? You've got to explain the retreats, because you guys are having so much fun and I'm so jealous and I so want to be there. Please explain.
So we have 2 different kinds right now. Right? You can go to Mexico in April with us, which is amazing. And then May, we're having one back at headquarters for some of the people that don't want to leave the country or want to travel more locally. So it's Delaware in May or Mexico in April. Come with us. Let's rock. Let's life will be different when you leave. 100%. Without a doubt. That's one promise we always make. Life will not be the same when you leave.
My life wasn't the same just meeting you guys on a Zoom call. That's why I want to go meet with you and hang out, because the people around Michael aren't just people. You go into so many other groups, and I'm generalizing right now, so it's not the same for everybody, but you go into groups and people do, hi, here's my card. Hi, here's my card. And you're like, who are you? And why are you creeping me out? With the Unleash You Now community, it was, hi, I really like being around you. And it was sincere and it was real, and we laughed and we learned from each other in the most casual of situations. It didn't have to be a lecture. We were learning amongst each other. And that was so beautiful. Maria's going to be at the retreat at headquarters and Mexico. She's like double.
Right? She came to the one in November. She loved it.
Do you see just how to cut out all the voices in your head to get the one that will guide you in the right direction? Actually, you want to assess them all, Michael, right? I mean, it's like, that's not good. Ooh, that might be good. That might get me killed. I mean, you want to assess those different voices. Your gut will tell you how right that is. It's if you're not in tune with your gut, you might make bad choices. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're either going to fall or be in exactly the same spot you were already. So what's the best choice?
And I think you said something really good right there when you said listen to the ones, but then you said listen to your gut, right? The voices in our head, that comes from different places. That's not necessarily the place where your heart is or your gut is or it's meant for your life. The voices in our head come from different things that we do with our body and with different thoughts that we entertain. So it's like when we hesitate for something, right? And then all of a sudden we have that fear face. It's like I laughed at someone. I said, perspective fear is different, right? But chemical fear is the same, right? If it's a saber-tooth tiger, or if I feel like someone's about to take the last piece of salami off the dish and I want it, right? The chemical release is the same. So it's really like let's get past the noise and let's start really feeling things, right? Let's feel. It's like something we were talking about off air is about the why, right? It's all right. Why is this voice trying to tell me this? Because sometimes it is trying to protect you, like you said. Sometimes the voice is like, stop, this is going to go bad. And you should listen to those, because I didn't listen to them for a long time in my life, and normally it went really bad. So you really should listen to them. But it's like, all right, I'm hearing this voice. Why am I? Right? Is this protection? Right? Or is this fear? Right? Is this self-destruct? And it's what does this connect me to when I do it? Where am I forming a deeper connection with? Right? Am I forming a deeper connection with my worries, my stress, my fears, right? With pieces of me that I don't feel are whole or right? And when you really start dissecting those and start going more into mission, right? Mission-based cause above us all, right? It's like you said, we have a movement, right? Like Unleash You Now is a movement. It's not a business, it's a movement. And we want to unleash, everybody's meant for something great. Like, I don't believe it's like some lucky lotto where it's like, hey, you're a winner. Hey, sorry, life's going to suck. Like, I don't think that's how it goes, right? Like that, I don't care what you call it, God, universe, dirt, right? Like cosmic winds. Like, I don't care what you call it. That's not my debate. But whatever it is, they're not sitting there going like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo on who's going to have a good life, who's going to have a bad one. That'd be a horrible way of doing it. It's that the path isn't the same for all of us. Like we were talking about after Norm, the path isn't the same. But what is like grit, right? We all need a certain amount of grit, right? Perseverance. We all need a certain amount of will and fight. We all need a certain amount of like mission, heart-centered, right? Like where it's like, what are we truly going for, right? Well, like, what's your mountaintop? It might be a cabin in the woods, right? On a mountain. It could be with no internet. That might be your mountaintop, right? And then it's like, all right, cool. This is my mountaintop. All right, what's one step? How can I get closer today?
How do I get there?
One step, right? And if the more we keep targets focused, driven, right, the less likely it is for us to start swerving off in these areas. The voices start running our life, right, and running our direction. I always say like misdirection is the first sign of lack of focus on the direction. Mm-hmm. All right, so it's when things start trying to pull me, I'm like, what am I focusing on?
Well, and that's why it's important to know what your goal is. I mean, in business or in life, you have to know what that mountaintop is for you, because that's the only way you're going to know, I want the mountaintop. Oh, the ocean's calling me. Okay, well, the ocean's calling me. Well, it's not the mountaintop. You've got to realize when things are taking you off or too far from the path of whatever you're after. And that's really what, a summary of what Michael's talking about. You must know what you want. And if you don't know what you want, have an inkling of what you want and start walking, and be aware that there are things that will come into your awareness that you never even noticed because you were too busy looking backwards. Stop looking back, look forward, keep looking, keep walking. And thank you, Apple. Yes, so much learning. I wanted Michael on because the man is deep. He thinks really deep, and he, as a coach, will move people who cannot see the ability to move. And that is what's so beautiful about Michael and his entire movement at UnleashU now, because that's really what it is. There's so much heart in a man who's gone from bottom, smack down his face in a gutter, to someone who climbed himself out of that gutter. So when he sees other people, he sees that light, he sees the potential in you, and he will help unlock it. He will unleash it with you. And that's why I wanted Michael on, because we need more Michaels in the world.
And really, like, as much as I want to be like, yeah, me, right? Like, I also say this. We're all a guide. We're all a guide, right? Like, Michelle, you guide people from where they are to where they want to be. We're all a guide, right? The one thing's for sure. You're the only one that can be the hero of you, right? Like, you're the only one that can be the hero of your story.
Yeah, you could be the villain, or you can be the hero.
That. Oh, and you can be the damsel in distress. Because the middle years, I was the victim. I was waiting for someone to save me, be honest, right? It wasn't until I realized that I played all the other parts, and I didn't play this one yet. So am I going to ante up? And one thing someone said to me once, and it was in a poem, and then it hit me in like 2011. It was like, did anyone breathe easier because you existed?
Oh, I love that.
Right. And in 2011, the answer was, I don't know. And I said, that's going to be the last day I don't know the answer to that question. And that's where my life changed and my vision changed and what I focused on changed. And listen, as you go, like, it wasn't like that moment I was like, boom, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to write multiple books. I'm going to do a conference. I'm going to speak on the stage. Like, I wasn't like that. Right. So it was just, I saw a direction. I saw somewhere I wanted to go towards, and I started going. And when you start going that way, you start seeing more. Right. It's like when you climb the mountain, you start seeing more of the mountain, right? You start seeing more of the beauty. You start seeing more destinations. And it's like, so when you start going the direction which really pulls at your heart, you'll start seeing more things that you're like, oh, look, wow, look at this, right? Like, I never thought I'd be a speaker. Right? Look at me. I have like 7 teeth left. I can barely talk. I have a long, straggly beard, right? Like, I wear a backwards hat a lot. You can always see me wearing an UnleashU Now shirt, right? I'm a walking billboard. But the idea was, I never thought I was going to do it. The first time I did it, before I did it, I was mad. I was miserable. I was screaming on not good words at somebody I knew that I was close with because they were asking me to do it. I was very upset I was doing it. And then after I did it, I was like, this was amazing.
Yeah, right? Destiny. You cannot run from destiny. I mean, my thing is, for those of you who are going through a lot of trouble in your life and you think that there's no end to it, I can promise you, if you keep looking, if you keep searching inside of you, you will say, I don't like this, and stop doing that, okay? Whatever you do and you do, oh, I love this. I love how this makes me feel. I can see a future with this. Do more of that. There's no real science, but go to what you like, avoid what you don't like. And as long as you're not hurting people in that process, you're on the right path, because eventually you will narrow down that path of what good you're doing, that it will open up what you really are meant to do. Michael, looking at his past, you would think there is no way he would ever be having a movement and be so positive and loving and just so, his energy is just so infectious. That's why I can't wait to meet him in person, because he's real and he's been there, done that, got the t-shirt, got knocked back down, had to buy a new t-shirt and climb back up again. And that's what's so amazing about his story. You got to get the book. Just go to his website, go to Amazon, look around for Michael Fabber. He's the only Michael Fabber. He's the only one. I haven't Googled anyone else that has his face. So find him, go find his book, because you need to see, if you're struggling in anything, just like with my books, if you're struggling with things and you think there's no way out, if people like us, ordinary people, can find a way out of hellish places, so can you. You are just as special, just as unique, just as powerful. Whatever you think we are, so are you. Just make the choice, start making a difference in your world. And yeah, maybe you can come on and talk to me on Mental Shift, or you can go over to UnleashU now and share your, because like Michael and I say, it's not us. There's nothing special. We just did stuff to get ourselves out of ugly places. It was survival.
But it's like, let me ask you a question, Michelle. If you didn't go through all that you went through, because you've been battle tested, right? Like, I know you do an amazing job of bringing up your guests and everything they went through, and that's awesome. You're amazing at it. But you've been battle tested. You've went through it, right? Like you, and then you went through it again, and then you're like, I'll do it again, right? Like, and it was just like, oh, life. Here you go, try this one, right?
Yeah.
And then I sit back and I wonder this, but I want you to answer this for you, right? It's like all that stuff you went through, right? All the hardest times, man, the times that literally you thought about begging for mercy, right? When life literally gave you the rawest deal, and it's unfair, and we know that because fair doesn't really exist, right? But of all that times, and then you here right now, would you be here right now doing what you love, smiling, living it up, right? Doing the show without going through all that crap you went through?
All that crap made me who I am. I was forged in fire. I like to say that. I wanted to use that as my title, Forged in Fire. But the word forged also means fake, so I couldn't use that. And I'm like, Phoenix. I'm like been burned to the ashes. I've come right back up. I wanted Phoenix, but there's all like massage parlors and things like that. So I'm like, okay, that doesn't work for me either. So I am unapologetically me. Why? Because I earned this. I earned to be here because I fought to be me. And that's why I encourage people to fight to be you. It does not matter how many times you've been knocked down, how many times you've been hurt. What's the lesson? Learn it, don't repeat it, move forward. But every time you turn around and do, I wish this didn't, or how come, all that's doing is putting anchors on your progress to whatever your goal really is. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I mean, really, I love that song. And I hate that song. But you really have to let it go. What stops you is looking back and regretting. Look back and learn. Don't look back and regret. Say, you know what? I don't like that. And that's about it. I want to do this now. Don't repeat what you didn't like about you. If you wouldn't let your own daughter date you, then you need to change. If you wouldn't let your son go out with someone like you, then you need to change. That's really the best kind of level, you know? Would I allow someone I love to be with that person? Oh, heck no. Then change. It's all up to you. What do you think, Michael?
I love it.
You got me in preach mode is what you did.
I like it. That's good. That's what I was trying for. But it's true. It's like we always want to, it's like we see the top of the mountain, like we talked about earlier. It's Simon Sinek said this once, and I loved it. He said, everybody sees the top of the mountain, but they miss the mountain. Right? Mm-hmm. Like to do anything, like life is going to hit us regardless. Whatever you do nothing, life's going to hit you. You do everything, life's going to hit you. Right? Like you're going to go through things. Mm-hmm. And it's like in the video before the show, it's like life's going to hit with a certain amount of impact. The goal is to hit life harder, right? To hit with such impact that life goes, oh my God, right? Like, look at this dude, right? Like he's right. Like he doesn't care. Like he's getting hit by things and he's just coming because you're going to get your money's worth. Get your money's worth of life, right? Like it's like people say, get your money's worth, get your time worth, right? Like make it worth it. And I'll sit here and I say it all the time. Now I went through painful things that people ask me, like, hey, come on, talk about the hard things, talk about the mistakes. And I'm like, I wouldn't have the great things if I didn't go through those hard things, because I wouldn't know what was great to me. I wouldn't know what means something to me. I wouldn't know my passion, my purpose, my mission, and what I'm focused on, and why I love so hard. I love so hard because I lost so many people. I know how quick this can all change, right? So it's like I'm going to love all out every second I can, because at the end of the day, I don't know how many seconds that is. And if anything happens, I want them to know and feel that, right? Because at the basic needs, everybody wants to be loved and everybody wants to love.
Yeah.
Right. So if we do that, it's a life that was lived.
And that's how we bonded. Because when I knew you lost so many people you loved, and I realized that I had multiple deaths, basically, where I almost lost my ability to share love, my purpose went from, I will never leave anyone feeling bad. I will always let people know that they matter and that I love them and that I'm so glad that they're on this planet. You had the opposite. You watch people leave you. And so that's the same thing. We have the same concept coming from different points of view, because we realized how fragile life is and that tomorrow is never guaranteed. I don't care how much money you make, how little money you make, tomorrow is not guaranteed. And that's why we need to be the best versions of us and give as much as we can. Bill says, this is why I watch your podcast, Denim and Pearls. You share so much wisdom and have fun like you're doing here. Oh, thank you, Bill. Oh, and then my co-host said, thank you, Bill. And so that's the thing. It's about being authentically you, finding your way. No, you don't have to look like everybody else. You don't have to act like everybody else. We are very unique. Why? Because we're not trying to be anybody else. Look at Michael. Look at me. You would never expect us to be friends because we're so polar opposite. But guess what? I love this man. And I will step in front of the bus to protect him. So stop looking at people's covers and judging them. Look at their hearts. Their hearts mean more. If you're going into a room and people are talking more about money than the people in the room, you're in the wrong room, because there's more to life than money. Okay, money's nice because you can do a lot of good things with money. I'm not saying money's bad, but remember the room you're in. Michael was in a room in his second stage of his life when he was wearing the velour suits where money was all around him, but he was empty inside. The important things about community is finding a community that feeds your soul, feeds you for who you are, and what you can become. The money can come with that if you are solid in you. That's what Michael learned. That's what I learned. It's magical in order to grow into the next level. Now, I have to break into the next commercial. So, Michael, do not leave me, okay, or I'll cry. And we will go to our break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. We are talking with Michael Fabber from UnleashU Now, and we'll see you in just a bit. Welcome back to Mental Shift. My name is Michelle Mras, and my guest tonight is Michael Fabber of UnleashU Now. And right now, we will be talking about the TNC shows that are all live streamed to help you see the new you. The following times are all in Philippine time.
Notable personalities and their stories on The Big Picture, Mondays through Fridays, 7 p.m. Human Resources and Management on HR Hotline, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at noon. The Family Business is Everyone's Business, Saturdays at 4 p.m. Success Stories on The Fourth Project, Saturday, 6 p.m. Dubai, 10 p.m. Philippines. Beauty Beyond What Your Eyes Can See, Usapang Beauty, Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. Time to hear positive news on COVID stories, Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Life Turnaround Stories at U-Turn, Mondays and Thursdays, 10:30 a.m. The Home Buyer Guides You to Property, Mondays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Laugh and Learn with the Puppet Stories, Mondays at 5:30 p.m. TNC Marketplace, Thursdays and Fridays at 10 p.m. Your Rights, Yo Law, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Money and More, Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Philippines, 5:30 a.m. USA. The stage is yours. TNC The Talk, Mondays at noon. Chill and Booze, After Shift, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Strategize and win in life through Win Within, Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Dream, Achieve, Nurture, and Inspire, Donnie Art Show, Fridays at 5:30 p.m. Learn Together Across Borders Foreign Affairs, Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Health is Wealth on Healthline, Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Celebrate Women at Work at 9 a.m. Saturdays. Have an awesome day, Mondays at 2:30 p.m. Cybersecurity is Key on CyberNext, Wednesdays at noon. Emerging in Practical Technologies, TechU, Fridays at 2:30 p.m. Learn from the Market Leader, Tuesdays and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. Well Home brings a well life, Tuesdays and Saturdays at 2:30 p.m. Coping and Coupling, Couple Goals, Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m. Listen to This Generation on The Millennial Voice, Mondays at 8:30 p.m. The Journey continues with Moving On Business, Tuesdays and Fridays at 4 p.m. Catch our original shows One Day, TNC Arena, TNC PressCon, and TNC Town Hall, Saturdays at 7 p.m., co-hosted by TNC founders Lloyd and Apple. Town Hall is where we talk to you, our valued audience. Last but not least, it's never too late for Mental Shift, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. USA, Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:30 a.m. Philippines. Thank you so much for joining me on Mental Shift. For more upcoming shows, follow the hashtag TNCNow on Facebook and YouTube. Allow your passion to inspire you, and together, let us hashtag see the new you.
Welcome back. So glad you stayed with us to learn more about the TNC shows that are here to serve you to be and see the new you. And let's welcome back my friend, Michael Fabber. Coach, where are you? Oh, good, you didn't run away.
I like doing that magic trick every time.
Ta-da!
All right. Boom, I'm here.
The comment section is blowing up. I mean, there are so many people in those comments making comments, and please, if you out there, share this. Share it, tag a friend, bring it in, do a live show of it, whatever you want to do, but share it out, because there's a lot of wisdom being dropped here. And as you know, for those of you who know Michael, and if you don't know him, you really need to know him. He's real. And I say that a lot because I meet so many real people. See, you poke him right there, but poke, see, and he's real. And so that's why I wanted Michael on, because he's got a real story, real breakthroughs, fall downs, and breakthroughs again. And he's like this wonderful example of human that made it. You are human. You made it. And I hate it when people are looking at other people and they're so different. They're so much better than me. They can do it and I can't. No, we're the same. We're human. We just kept getting up. It's like, come on, coach, put me back in. I got it. I got a little more fight in me. Just put me back in. And as Michael said earlier, I've been knocked down a lot. I've had a lot of hits in life. And honestly, sometimes I think they were more like cars and 2x4s, but I got back up. And you can do it too. No matter what your situation is, research us, go find us. Michael Fabber, Michelle Mras. There's not a lot of us. We've got very odd names. Look us up, because when you look us up, you'll realize we are human. We are who we are, exactly the same people in the screen that you are watching, that you will meet at the retreat, meet on the street, at a grocery store, wherever you would meet us. This is us. There is nothing fake about us. And that's what I love about Michael. He accepted me into his family without knowing a clue about me. And I loved it. Right? Why am I focused up? I'm not saying anything important. He's just catching my smile. That's why.
I was saying, you were on a roll. I was just like, rocket.
So, Michael, we only have like 8 more minutes. And I know you're going to drop some really cool, juicy bomb about something you'd like everyone that's listening to understand or to share or to know. And once you say it, we're going to end up talking about it. So share it now, because you always drop these truth bombs that make my brain explode and want to talk more. So lay it on me.
Yeah, no pressure at all. So one of the things I think we talked about, and we keep hitting around it, and it's the biggest thing in the journey, what changed for me, one of the biggest mental shifts, right, was when I realized that my story wasn't my embarrassment.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like the things I went through, I didn't need to hide. I didn't need to feel like I wasn't good enough for it, right? Or I wasn't enough for it, or I wasn't smart enough because of it. I failed 3rd grade, right? So it's like I wasn't smart enough to do it. I went to like 3 high schools in 4 years, right? So I had all these things for my story when they were happening, that they would tell me that I could use those as crutches to make it why I wouldn't go, why I wouldn't try, why I wouldn't be enough, and all the things we spoke of, right? And I feel like that's our perspective of our story is wrong. Mm-hmm. We use it for something that's a detriment rather than something that's a strength. Our story is our strength. That's our superpower. And why I say that is because you're the only one that went through what you went through, the way you went through it, at the time in which you went through it, right? We all have things similar. We all have things in life. Like we all have experienced loss, right? Like we've all experienced failure and disappointment and mistakes, and right, like, and having those feelings like we're not enough, we're not going to. And it's all because we look at our story and we judge ourselves for it, not give ourselves credit for it. And I think as soon as we start giving ourselves credit, not because, not credit, we screwed up, right? I'm not like, credit, I got arrested multiple times. Like, that's not, give me credit. But it's credit that I went through what I went through, grew how I grew, learned what I learned, right? Experienced, got those scars. Like we all have scars, right? We all have those. And I always laugh when people talk about scars that are outside on me. And I'm like, the worst scars are the ones inside of me, right? And those scars they extended my flesh, right? They made me remember and understand and grow. And when I look at it that way, as my story is my power, right? And every single one of us, and every single one watching or listening, and everyone that's not, that your story is something to be proud of. Not everything you did through it, but you're here and you have the opportunity to do anything you want from here out. And that's your strength. So take that and use that. And know when you walk in a room, I don't care if they went to Harvard or not. That's one of my things is I don't care what school you went to, who taught you, how many things you went, like, I don't care. When I walk in a room, I know you did not do what I did. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's not ego. I'm not saying I'm better. I'm saying I can stand my ground because of the story I went through. Just like I'll respect you for the story you went through. Mm-hmm. And that's us. So we're all ourselves, and we all earned our way by going our way.
Don't make me break out in a Neil Diamond song. Do it. I did it my way, because that's the magic about it. We always, as humans, we're always comparing. Stop comparing. No one's walked your path, like Michael said. No one can do what you do. No one has made the decisions you've made. Yeah, sometimes you don't like them. You learned, you move on, you grow. And as also Michael said, people look at the scars on the outside, but the deepest ones, the one that hurt the most, are those internal scars, the ones that no one can see, that battle you fight with yourself inside your mind about, are you worthy for what you really want? Do you really deserve what you want to get? Can you climb that mountain? And will you fail? That's a lot of things going on inside of you. Those are the scars for you to do. When I was 7 and I didn't win the spelling bee, I'm not good enough at spelling and I can't write, so therefore I'll never write a book. It's BS. It's all stories that your mind is telling you, that those inner critics telling you. And sometimes it's telling you not to hold you back. Sometimes it's saying, How badly do you want it? Fight me for it. Fight me. Michael failed the 3rd grade. Okay? How old were you? 6, 7, maybe 7, 8 years old?
8.
You went to high school how many times before you graduated?
Oh, God. Well, I went to 3 different high schools because I kept getting kicked out.
Okay, good. And then he's been arrested many, many times. If he looked at his past, and if you wrote down all the things that happened in his past, you would say, statistically, the man would not have this amazing group of people, this family, this Unleash You Now family. He would not be leading people. He would be leading people into a prison, okay? You're looking at him now. He's an author. He has set motion to this amazing group, this movement that is going across the world. It's going across the world. Never judge a book by its cover. Never judge your own book by the cover. Switch covers. It's your book. No one else can write it. It's all about you and what you can give to the world and what you're meant to give to the world. Be the best version of you and be unapologetic about it. Michael, I love you dearly. I cannot wait to hug you one day and have crab and drink tea. That's what my whole deal is, right?
All right. We get crabs.
He's up in the East Coast where they have crab. So that's my whole thing tonight is I wanted you all to meet Michael because he's very special to me. I've never met him in person. I met him when COVID hit. And I love him because our souls speak the same language. And if you feel the same thing when you're hearing him talk, go to his website, go to his Facebook page, the Unleash You Now family. Just look for them. You can't miss it. It's the logo on his chest. He is always wearing that logo. So you always find it. And be part of the family. Be part of the movement because they are moving across the world. And you can be part of the movement too. I've joined the bandwagon. I'm just trying to get myself to Mexico with them in April. But very special people. And it's very difficult to find special people all together at once who really are looking out for you, who really do want the best for you, who really do want to lift you up when you let them, when you allow them to. Find a family. I found mine in Unleash You Now. So, Michael, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And I hope you stay on a little bit longer so I can talk to you after the show. And for those of you who are still watching, please share this. It'll be on repeat. It's also on YouTube on TNC Now. And the other thing about it is I'm part of a group that's doing a crisis management seminar. So I'm going to close out the entire show with this crisis management thing because we talk about it from the individual level and the entire world level, group level. And it's all about knowing you and how you work in crisis mode and how to avoid it and how to maneuver around it. So stay tuned for this commercial, and then we'll see you next week, Tuesday or Thursday in the United States at 7:30 p.m. or Wednesday and Friday at 10:30 a.m. Philippines. And Michael is over here blowing kisses and doing because he's just a wonderful guy. And his Unleash You family, they're all right here with you. And that's the power of family. We'll see you next week, everyone. Until next time, be the best version of you. Hope you can jump on to my podcast on Denim and Pearls every Friday at noon Mountain Standard Time. Oh, and Michael has a podcast too. Oh, what's your podcast called?
Unleash Your Hustle.
Unleash Your Hustle. Look them up. Unleash Your Hustle. I'll put it in the comments in the thread, or someone else do it. Margaret, maybe you could put it in the comments. And then that way we can find your podcast too. Let's get those numbers up because he talks some really cool stuff, just like he did tonight on the podcast. So until next time, everyone, have a great evening and enjoy this last commercial about crisis management and join us on this webinar. We'll talk to you next time. Wow. I like the blow kiss.